Turkish Airlines, 7 Days, and Winline, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
From a global fashion capital that's all dressed up for the best weekend in world basketball, it's time to tip off the 2014 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four with a truly classic confrontation. CSKA Moscow versus Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv facing off in the first of two semifinals tonight at sold-out Mediolanum Forum in Milan, Italy. CSKA and Maccabi have been this way often before, having met in 4 Final Fours this century. Maccabi beat CSKA in semifinals on the way to 2 titles, and CSKA got revenge twice with championship game victories over Maccabi in 2006 and 2008. So welcome to the 2014 Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four. I'm Frank Lawler from EuroLeague TV, and at my side is former EuroLeague champ George Zidek. Let's jump right in, George. These teams met twice in the last 3 months. But of course, tonight it's going to be a different show. We have Maccabi Electra with a lot of fans in the stands. Tell us what you think of that can do for them here in Milan.
Great to be here, Frank. And oh yes, Maccabi has painted this town yellow. But more important than their fans is Maccabi's confidence in coming out of the playoffs after having one of the great comebacks in recent memory on this very court. CSKA is the only Final Four team that has not played yet in the Mediolanum Forum this season. So I expect Maccabi to try to come out and quickly reestablish the comfort zone they found in this building less than a month ago. But this time, Frank, they're going to have thousands of Maccabi fans to help.
Okay, we're going to go look now at the starting 5. And the first is from Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, the visitors, Yogev Ohayon at the point guard spot, Ricky Hickman on one wing, Guy Panini on the other. Devin Smith will play power forward, very interesting choice by head coach David Blatt, and Andrea Zizic as well will be in the starting lineup. He started earlier in the season a couple games for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, just 2. So this will be only his 3rd start of the season. Andrea Zizic, here is the starters for CSKA Moscow. Milos Teodosic, point guard on the wing. Sonny Weems and Victor Kriapa playing the shooting guard positions. Andrei Vorontsevich at power forward, and Sasha Kaun at the center spot. So those are the men who will get things going tonight for the 2 semifinalists, CSKA Moscow and Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. Right now we have a special presentation on the court. Special Olympics and EuroLeague Basketball have been working together since 2007, and since 2011, Special Olympics is a proud partner of one team, the EuroLeague Basketball Social Responsibility Program. Some of the young players from that program enjoying a special moment here in Milan, local players on the court. A family of European basketball gathered in Milan, offering a moment of silence and solidarity with the victims in Turkey. But now it's time to play basketball. We are ready to start the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four at CSKA Moscow and Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, getting ready to tip off in the semifinal. Great history between the 2 teams and great players up and down both of these lineups. It's hard to say, as we said, George, heading to this moment, exactly who could influence this game, but interesting to see some of the starters that were chosen. Andrea Zizic will tip off against Sasha Kaun. As we said, Andrea Zizic, just his 3rd start since joining Maccabi in mid-season. He's the oldest player in this Final Four. Ball is up, tip is off, and not controlled yet. Let's see who controls it. It will be controlled by Devin Smith of Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. They'll get the first attack. Ohayon to Zizic, goes backdoor to Ricky Hickman. Nice pass by the veteran.
Nice, simple play to start the game. A very good start there for Maccabi. Nothing complicated.
CSKA Moscow on the attack. Victor Kriapa on top. He goes inside to Sasha Kaun. He puts it down against some tough defense. So first 2 shots of the game go in.
That's a pick and roll plays that CSKA likes to run. Also a very good play to start the game for the Russian side.
Hickman gets it back from Devin Smith. Gets the screen. He'll stop and pop a jumper off the back of the rim, first miss of the game. Rebound to Victor Kriapa. CSKA comes the other way.
That was an aggressive and a quick shot by Hickman. He did not hesitate.
Weems to count to Kriapa. Tries to get to Teodosic. Shot clock running down. Teodosic has it. Shadowed by Ohayon. Hits the floor with a pass. That's a turnover on CSKA. Ohayon on the run for Maccabi. He's challenging to go the whole way. He puts it down. Yogev Ohayon ends up in the cameras with somebody on top of him. But what a tough basket by Ohayon.
This is aggressiveness of Maccabi, and Coach David Bryant, he spoke about it at the press conference before the game. He said, we want to run and we want to go and play up-tempo basketball. We don't want to settle for 5-on-5 games against CSKA. There, we could have problems.
And coming out of that mix-up below the basket, everybody's on their feet, and Maccabi's pressuring the ball. They get it to Kriapa. Kriapa ahead to Vorontsevich. The ball swings to Sonny Weems from downtown. Off the mark, Kriapa fight where Vorontsevich almost gets a rebound, but it falls to Maccabi. Maccabi up 2-4. Another backdoor pass. This one doesn't get through on a steal by Sasha Khan. CSKA trying to even it up.
But Maccabi is really trying to speed up the game.
In the post to Kriapa. He gets pushed by Devin Smith.
But no wonder, Frank. I mean, if you play against CSKA Moscow, who has allowed only 69.6 points against them, as the best defensive team in the EuroLeague, you want to go and run. You want to try to get as many easy points as you can.
And both of the baskets we've seen so far have been quickness and aggression from Maccabi. Sonny Williams in the post. Passes to Sasha Khan. He draws a foul as well.
And you know he's gonna get fouled because Sasha Khan is not the best free throw shooter. So anytime he's gonna get the ball close to the basket, I think that any of the big men of Maccabi will try to look for a foul.
Interesting. You see the pass from Weems, the previous one from Kriapa. Those are two forwards, or Weems to be a swingman, I guess you call him, who have led this team in assists during their late run in the season and for most of the season. And they kind of make that offense work a different way, keep their opponents guessing by having the forwards passing the ball.
But that's what we spoke about. I mean, Sonny Weems has added a passing element to his game. Look at Sasha Khan. He's making both of his free throws. We don't see that so often.
Sasha Khan, of course, having just 58% of the free throw line. Nothing like his career-leading two-point percentage, but we're a little bit below it. But there he puts down two, which is good news for CSKA Moscow, and a 4-4 tie here in the first quarter of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Semifinal. First one tonight. Ricky Hickman to Guy Panini inside to Zizic.
That was a good position there for Zizic. He should have finished that.
Ball inside to Vorontsevich on the mismatch with Ohayon.
I think Andreas Zizic just could not get vertical enough. He was tangled up a little bit with his defender, and David Blythe did not wait, and he's sending Alex Tyus, who I'm sure if he got it that close to the basket, Frank would have finished it with authority.
Alex Tyus, of course, if Sasha Khan leads in career statistics in two-point percentage, it was Alex Tyus who leads this season in the EuroLeague as Vorontsevich goes to the free throw line and gives CSKA Moscow its first lead. Nice aggressive play by Vorontsevich.
Oh, he's young.
Mismatch.
Anytime he can get a ball outside and drive or go inside for the post-up or go after the roll, he attacks the basket very aggressively. I like him a lot.
Two free throws down by CSKA Moscow's Andrei Vorontsevich gives them a 6-4 lead. Going to be Panini trying to answer from the corner. First three-pointer out for him.
That was a very quick three-pointer.
Ball swings to Kriapa. He goes inside to Weems. Another mismatch on Ohayon. Back and down Ohayon. Blocked by Alex Tyus on the jump hook attempt by Sonny Weems.
Look at that, Frank. I
Put
mean,
it
he
in
was
the
there.
stands, and that's what he came in for. Alex Tyus.
No, he's spectacular on the help side defense. It's one of his strongest assets on defense.
He was the playoffs leader in block shots. He did again there. This time Khan goes over him and puts it in left-handed. Nice shot by Sasha Khan.
He has really gotten better with the use of his left hand.
Sasha Khan, of course, the star of Game 5 of the playoffs that put CSKA Moscow in this Final Four. Guy Panini swings it to Ricky Hickman. Gets a screen from Tyus. It'll be Panini getting the ball to Tyus, blocked by Sasha Kahn.
And we spoke about him. Sasha Kahn's got such a long arms that he is capable of changing or blocking many, many shots.
But not many people stopped Alex Tyus in the paint this last half of season. Pass from Kriapa to Williams, tipped in by Sasha Kahn. He's pouring it on here in the first quarter.
Impressive. I mean, he is doing a lot of work on both ends. Hats off to Sasha Kahn, the way he started this game.
Yogevo Hayon sets up the CSKA offense. CSKA was down 4-2 in this game, but they came up with the last 8 points while they're shutting down Maccabi for a few minutes. Ohayon driving on Vorontsevich, step back jumper. Ohayon knocks it down.
That was a nice individual play there. Ohayon against Vorontsevich.
CSKA Moscow leading 10-6, first quarter action. Weems goes inside the Kahn, the hot hand for CSKA. The kick out and back into Kahn with the hook shot. He puts that down as well. So Sasha Kahn on fire like we saw him at the end of the playoffs.
I'm telling you, Frank, just look at his body language. He is so self-confident. He is not hesitating in taking it one-on-one back to the basket against the defenders.
Joe Ingles in the game with the ball for Maccabi. He goes inside to Tyus. And Tyus is fouled. There you see the block by Sasha Kahn.
Hey, but I mean, it's not easy.
Tipping as well. He just took over the middle point of this quarter and above the rim against the shot blocker.
Very active on both ends, and Ettore Messina just sits him down so he's available for the later part of the games, but an impressive start by Sasha Kahn.
He's replaced by Kyle Hines, who is a leaper, as we well know from his winning the last 2 Final Fours with Olympiacos. There's David Blue in the game for Maccabi. First three-pointer misses. Sophocles Koutsanidis also in the game, almost gets the offensive rebound, but he can't hold on to it. So CSKA holding that 12-6 lead.
That is some serious strength there, Frank. Kyle Hines against Sophocles Koutsanidis. That's a matchup around the basket.
Hines hands off to Weems. Weems steps back, goes back inside, this time to Kriapa. Hines spinning on Sophocles. Turnaround jumper goes down by Kyle Hines. So everything going in inside for CSKA.
That was not an easy shot.
At the other end, quick strike by Joe Ingles from Maccabi. And that's what they did early in the game, George, to get their first 2 baskets. And maybe that's what Maccabi coach David Blatt is telling his guys now. Try to strike quick at this CSKA defense, because otherwise it's difficult. Turnover by Sonny Weems, and he commits a foul to stop the break after that.
I mean, if you look at the score, Frank, 14 points for CSKA after 5 minutes. That's a lot of points scored.
We have a timeout on the floor as we see the replay there of the foul by Sonny Weems. Timeout on the floor with a 14-8 lead halfway through the first quarter of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Semifinal here from Milan, Italy. The Mediolanum Forum. CSKA in charge after trailing early in the game, put on a 8-0 run to take control of the scoreboard, 14-8, but a lot of basketball left to play. And as we have this timeout, we'll get a look at the last 2 times these teams faced at the Final Four, and those were the 2006 and 2008 finals. In the case of 2006, Maccabi was the defending champion, but in Prague it was CSKA Moscow ending a 35-year streak without winning the EuroLeague title by winning against Maccabi. 2 years later, CSKA and Maccabi were back on the court in Madrid, and once again with the great Teo Papaloukas there, and Ettore Messina on the bench both times. This will be his 10th Final Four appearance with 4 EuroLeague titles won, and his all-time record, as you see there in the semifinals, 8-1. That's not counting when he won the EuroLeague when it was a playoff format in 2001 as well. So he will make it to his 10th final if, in fact, he and CSKA Moscow win this game tonight. Right now it's 14-8 midway through the first quarter. Timeout came at a good time for Maccabi. As we see Tyrese Rice come in the game with Ricky Hickman playing with David Blue, Joe Ingles, and Sophocles Koutsanidis. CSKA has all its starters except now Vladimir Mitsov is in the game. They lob into Sofo. He's blocked at the rim by Hines. How many times have we seen him do that in the Final Four? This time, Hines fouls him and the basket is good by Sofo, so good reaction by Maccabi despite the block.
Well, that was a spectacular play there by Kyle Hines, but you cannot expect him to play defense one-on-one against Sofo Tsortsanidis twice in the same offense. Look at that, this is the block, but Sofo establishes himself again, goes to the basket, scores the basket, and has one free throw.
From where we sit, I couldn't even see Kyle Hines behind Sofo before he went up and shot and blocked that shot, but Sofo got the best of this. He misses the free throw, and it's rebounded by Victor Kriapa.
But you know, Kyle Hines never gives up on anything, Frank. He will not give up on one single play.
Hines out top with the ball against Sofo. Hands off to Milos Teodosic. Teodosic looks inside the Hines. He's alone now. Blue is there, misses the shot, and Sofo comes up with the rebound.
That was a good defense there by Maccabi. 3 players, I think, converged on Kyle Hines, who was cutting to the basket and received a very good pass.
Vladimir Mitsov commits a foul to stop the Maccabi break. Second time that CSKA's had to do that, but Maccabi, after the timeout, has been able to get back in this game a little bit, 14-10, after suffering a tough few minutes where they were outscored 8-0.
That's a smart play by CSKA to stop the fast break, because I think it is clear now to everybody that Maccabi will try to run the ball and try to score some early points.
Sonny Weems enters the game for CSKA Moscow. Sonny Weems comes back in the game for CSKA Moscow as Aaron Jackson enters for the first time. So he's the one who had the injury last week. We'll see how he's feeling on the court tonight. Ricky Hickman takes the ball from Maccabi to Tyrese Rice, looking inside the Sofo. Ingles finally gets it to the post. Big Sofo turning off the backboard and in. 3 defenders around him. Sofo is ready to play as well.
But this was impressive. The left-handed hold. Frank, he is very patient and concentrated.
Weems to Vorontsevich in the corner. It's going to be Jackson. His first shot off the mark. And Ricky Hickman in transition for Maccabi. Finishes and is fouled by Aaron Jackson, with a chance to put Maccabi Electra ahead with the free throw.
Oh, this is a mistake there by Aaron Jackson. I think he should have stopped the fast break a lot earlier, right here, before the start of the drive. Now it's an N1 situation, chance for a 3-point play. So Maccabi is really relentlessly pushing the ball up the court.
Well, I think we saw what happened in this game is we have a timeout on the floor before the Ricky Hickman free throw and attempt at 3-point play. It's 14-14 going into the huddles. And of course that had to be a timeout called by CSKA Moscow because they were just ahead by 6 points. Here you see the replay of Sofo between the 3 defenders all around him. Goes up and puts it down.
Okay, Frank, you said 3 defenders, but I think that the 2 defenders that came to help, that they were too late. I think it is Sofo. If he takes the first dribble, you have to come with the double team. Otherwise, you just risk him going to the basket. We said it. He's one of the most. Perhaps the strongest player on the one of the strongest players on the planet.
Here's our ISO and Sophocles Skortsanidis. Of course, the first one he got blocked, and the good news. Did you see the look he gave Kyle Hines? Like, where'd you come from? Gets it right back. I think that was a key moment for Sofo. Here he is rebounding at the other end. And look at the big man move. We saw some video of him.
Look at the way he's just creating space, Frank. I mean, this is just, for anybody who is watching, this is great fundamental basketball. Just clear the space around the basket, be patient, wait for your teammates. But at the same time, your teammates have to be looking for you. And that's what Maccabi players are doing. Anytime Sofo is on the floor, they are really looking for him down low on the block. Because he will get tired. He will get tired. If you play like this, you exert a lot of energy.
Sophocles Skortsanidis doing for Maccabi late in this first quarter. Still 3 minutes left. What Sasha Kaun did early in the first quarter for CSKA. Kaun back in the game as Ricky Hickman misses the go-ahead free throw attempt. 14-14 tie on the board. Pressure on the ball by Maccabi. And here's another one of the Maccabi defenses. They're looking in the zone. Let's see how they match up out of that zone right now. It looks like a straight zone. The ball switches around to Vladimir Mitsov. Count hands it back to Mitsov. To Vorontsevich inside the count. Ball's loose.
A great defense by Maccabi. It's 24-second violation.
And a 24-second violation with the first zone defense.
Yep.
Of course, David Blatt, the head coach of Maccabi.
But look at Big Sofa, the way he's moving, even on defense, he's just moving his feet, trying to get around the player against Sasha Khan. Of course, the passing angle wasn't ideal on that pass.
Maccabi on the attack now, gets the ball inside the Sofa, no surprise there. He backs down on Count, off the backboard this time, misses. So Count in the game, first one to stop Sofa in a couple minutes, just as Sofa stopped him at the other end. And as you see the rebound advantage there, 10-4. For CSKA Moscow. Mitsov in the corner, gets slapped by Joe Ingles.
And of course, Frank, we saw that Maccabi is switching to zone defense, and they will just keep you guessing. I mean, now I see all the players just looking at Coach Blatt. He's signaling the defense they will play now. So all the players are alert, and they understand that they have to switch defenses just to keep the opponent guessing.
First foul on Ingles. CSKA inbounds again. They get to Vorontsevich. He takes a three that misses everything. Well, didn't miss everything, but came out long to the CSKA rebound. And Mitsov turnaround jumper over Ricky Hickman. So he gets on the scoreboard as well.
And that was a patient play. There was a mismatch on a one-on-one situation on the box. So he just took his time, backed him in, and made a nice two-point play.
Maccabi comes back after the make, running a fast break off the CSKA basket. A kicked ball will mean they'll have to take it out of bounds, but interesting to see Maccabi even trying to run off the baskets by CSKA.
And I tell you what, if there's one thing that Maccabi really has to concentrate on is getting better on boxing out and getting the rebounds.
The ball inside again. The Sofo turns once again. This time he gets called for shuffling his feet as Victor Kriapa was there to sandwich him. So that'll be a turnover for Maccabi, and Sophocles Switsamidis as he goes off the floor, but after making a big impact, replaced by Alex Tyus. And the first appearance now for Nenad Kirstich, of course, one of the big scorers and rebounders for CSKA Moscow, making his first appearance in the game.
And look for him, Frank, to look for post-up positions. He's going to try to ask for the ball close to the basket. Right there, you see it. Immediately goes to the post-up.
Swings on Tyus. Tyus knocks the ball away. Block or steal, call it what you will. Tyrese Rice in transition. Goes off the backboard and in. Everybody was looking for the lob to Tyus, and Tyrese Rice put it down.
But again, simple and same strategy for Maccabi Tel Aviv. Quick baskets, easy points. That's what they're looking for.
Another tie, 16-16, a minute and 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Sonny Weems to Victor Kriapa, fakes the three.
Somebody kicked the ball.
Kriapa bobbled the ball. Somebody else kicked it, so the ball will remain in the hands of CSKA Moscow, inbounding from the sideline with 14 seconds on the shot clock. They get it into Aaron Jackson. He gets it back to Weems. Weems right inside to Kriapa. And the block by Ricky Hickman was after the ball went off the backboard. So a goaltending violation on Ricky Hickman, and Maccabi put CSKA in front with an 18-16 with 1 minute left in the first quarter. It's going to be Hickman. Here's the lob to Tyus. He can't finish, however. Didn't get off the floor as we usually see him taking the elevator. Not that time for Alex Tyus.
Maybe he was surprised that the pass was too low.
Kriapa goes inside to Sonny Weems on the cut. He was guarded by Tyrese Rice.
And that's a mismatch, so he was immediately fouled, but this time it's going to be 2 free throws for Sonny Weems. Look at Victor Kriapa. That's a huge advantage that Ettore Messina's got, because a lot of plays he can just make the last pass. He's an excellent passer, Victor Kriapa. He leads the team in assists.
Also led all playoff teams in assists. 8 different teams couldn't have a better assist man than a tall forward who plays between the small and power forward positions. as Sonny Weems hits 1 of 2, but there's a save.
And CSKA is just dominating. Frank, they are dominating on the boards.
Kirstich turns on Tyus. Tyus gets a piece of the shot. The ball's loose and it's out of bounds on Maccabi. It will remain CSKA ball with 23 seconds left.
But I'll tell you, if a lot of coaches say, and their mantra is usually that no second chance points, CSKA is getting plenty of second chance opportunities, Frank, in the game tonight.
The difference on the offensive rebounds is now 5-1 in favor of CSKA. Sonny Weems out top. They're going to hold the ball and take the last shot of the first quarter. Weems against Ingles. He gets help from David Blue. Ball's touched. It's going to be Jackson to Weems to finish the first quarter off the mark. So we go through the first quarter with no three-pointers made by either team. Both of them have missed 3 or 4 each. And CSKA Moscow takes advantage of that situation to head into the end of the first quarter with a 19-16 lead over Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv here in the first semifinal, as we see some of the statistics coming up on the board. And as you see, neither team.
Well, look at it, rebounding edge.
3-pointers. But we'll come back and then analyze the stats right after this.
Turkish Airlines, Spalding, Intersport, official global sponsors of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
And as we said, live in Milan for the semifinals of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, and people are also following us from all over the world, more than 200 countries watching this Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four live on television as we come back for second quarter action in the Mediolanum Forum with CSKA Moscow leading 19-16 over Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. Was an up and down first quarter, George Zidek, and you have some insights into the statistics.
Well, I'm looking at the stats, Frank, and just 2 things that are standing out is just a complete domination of CSKA Moscow on the boards. It's 14-5 in their favor, and I think that Maccabi is going to really have to bark down and take care of business on the boards if they want to be successful in the first semifinal. Other stats that is standing out is also Maccabi, and it's 0 for 2 from the free throw line. So Maccabi has not really gotten to the free throw line, and of course they have not been able to connect on the 2 free throws that they shot. So Maccabi is scoring early. They are aggressive, but they are not being fouled in the act of shooting.
George, we definitely saw a game of runs there in the first quarter with Maccabi looking good early when they were running. CSKA taking over in the middle, Maccabi coming back and tying twice, and then CSKA seeming to settle down. Let's see what happens here in the second quarter. Aaron Jackson running the offense. Vitaly Fridzin in the game now for CSKA Moscow. He's their 3-point shooter. Kirstich, from mid-range misses. And Devin Smith back in the game hauls down a rebound for Maccabi. Ball swings to Devin Smith, back to David Blue and Ricky Hickman. They try to go inside to Sofo, and look at Victor Kriapa just everywhere. Takes that pass out of the air and saves it before going out of bounds for another Maccabi turnover.
Well, this is the experience of Victor Kriapa. He just gives you a lot of defensive, very smart player.
Kriapa, he's going to take a 3-pointer. That one's out as well. Look at the putback by Aaron Jackson in midair, surrounded by 2 players, makes it a 21-16 scoreboard.
How did he do that, Frank? I mean, he was, I thought, among 3 players there, hanging in the air and just made a spectacular play.
3-pointer by Devin Smith also misses, so the shooters are having a tough night, but we're seeing some spectacular basketball anyway. CSKA fans can't be worried about Aaron Jackson after that last play. Vitaly Fridzin to Weems inside to Kirstich. Aaron Jackson goes baseline, gets it to Fridzin for a 3. That's off the mark too, so a little first game jitters here in the semifinal for the shooters at least. Ball straight inside from Maccabi to Sofo. He coughs it up. Jackson comes the other way. Goes in the corner to Fridzin. His no-look pass stolen by David Blue. Nice heads-up play.
The game is just moving really fast at the moment. I think just both teams just need to settle down a little bit.
David Blue's gonna try and hit the first three-pointer of the Final Four. David Blue keeping Maccabi Electra close. That's his 22nd game in a row with a three-pointer, so he was the man to do it. That puts him in the top 10 for three-pointers in Final Fours, which he's played a few of. Ball inside to Kirstich for CSKA, and the foul called on Sofoklis Shurtanitas.
And look at that deep three by David Blue. We're not going to see that replay, but it was an extremely long shot that he just took.
Maybe he had to go deeper to get one in because everybody else up to this point could not hit any three-pointers. As Teodosic comes back in the game, gets it to Weems, lob inside, and a slam by Victor Kriapa.
That is a high percentage shot. Anytime you can do this, you look for that.
But Victor Kriapa doing it on all parts of the court. Of course, he's leading that rebound in charge by CSKA Moscow. Ball inside the sofa at the other end, again taken away. That's a couple turnovers now that he's being surrounded before the catch.
I think they're telegraphing the pass. They just have to be much quicker with the pass.
Kriapa goes inside to Fridzen. The ball knocked out of bounds, but it'll go out on Sofoklis Shurtanitas.
Look at the finish there by Victor Kriapa. That was a nice two-man play. Screen and roll. Victor Kriapa is one of the best in the game with that. Very quick roller.
Kriapa now at 4 points as Teodosic comes off the inbounds play and extends the CSKA lead to the biggest it's been in this game, 25-19. Everybody taking part in this now for CSKA. But you have to say, here comes Blue with another one. He answers. He's got all the Final Four experience.
And Frank, Johnny Rogers was speaking about it in the morning. He said that David Blue could be the X factor off the bench, and he is doing it right now. 2 key threes for Maccabi to keep them in the game. It's a 3-point game.
Absolutely keep them in the game, because without those 2 threes, and remember, several other players missed 10 three-pointers before those 2 by David Blue here early in the second quarter. Plenty of time left. Weems, he'll try a three-pointer off the mark, so CSKA still shut out from the three-point line as Ricky Hickman in transition gives it to Blue. Blue gives it back because Kriapa was standing there. Yogev Ohayon back in the game, drives, gets his pass knocked out of bounds, and somehow
that was the last touch by Ohayon.
It was the last touch by Ohayon, so it's a turnover for Maccabi.
Look at David Blythe on the sidelines. I mean, he's just asking his players to bring out the defense and put pressure on CSKA, and they're doing it. He wants them to stay aggressive, Frank, the whole game. I'm sorry.
Milos Teodosic hands off to Weems. Teodosic gets it back. Can't find anybody to pass to. Finally hands off to Kriapa. Kriapa with the jumper.
That was a tough two-pointer, a long two-pointer at the last moments of the 24-second shot clock. So a heads-up play there by Victor Kriapa.
27-22 lead, give him 6 points and 6 rebounds, Victor Kriapa, as well as a steal, 2 assists, and a block so far. So he is definitely showing why he was on the All-EuroLeague second team. Going to be Ohayon, and he hits it. So Maccabi still answering as they can, and a disappointed Etta Messina as Ohayon up to 7 points already.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is the third three-pointer for Maccabi, so they're shooting well from behind the arc.
Teodosic's going to try it finally and hit it for CSKA, and he gets fouled.
On a three, that could be a 4-point play there, Frank.
Chance at a 4-point play. Somebody had to hit one finally for CSKA, and it's the guy who missed the first 4 playoff games, came back in the 5th one, and you forget about what a great shooter Teodosic is sometimes because he passes the ball so well, but his three-pointer now puts him in the top 10 list in Final Fours, and he's only played a few of them, so he's a game changer when his three-point shooting is on. As you see there, had a big game with 4 of 5 as well. He completes the 4-point play to restore the biggest lead of the game so far, 31-25 in favor of CSKA Moscow.
Frank, if Teodosic heats up, I mean, he's almost unstoppable. We studied about Sonny Weems, but same can be said about him.
Ohio tries to jumper, misses, but Alex Tyus is there to put the rebound right in over the rim. Nice roll. CSKA's doing what they have to do, but Maccabi's not letting them get away.
Hey, there was a little bit of luck on that play, but I think that just he got awarded for staying with the ball.
Tasha Khan on top for CSKA, hands off to Teodosis. He'll try it again. This one's off the mark. And a rebound by Devin Smith.
This time nobody was going to the offensive rebound for CSKA.
Hickman on the hurry-up offense, gets it to Blue. Pulls it out, however, on the foul by Vitaly Fridzin will stop the action. But it's been very active up and down the floor. You would maybe have thought, Georgie, that CSKA would slow it down a little more, but they seem to be answering Maccabi's speed.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, at this point, if it's their preference or they just simply got accustomed to the speed that Maccabi was playing for in the beginning of the game. You saw a spectacular speed in the first opening moments of the game.
Timeout on the floor at the Mediolanum Forum in Milan, Italy, with a 31-27 scoreboard in favor of CSKA Moscow against Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, halfway through the second quarter of the first semifinal in tonight's Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. We're going to take a look at some of the history of Final Fours with that man, Ettore Messina. As you see, won in 98, runner-up 99, won again in 2001, runner-up 2002 and 3 with different teams at that point. Returned with CSKA and won his first year with them. Lost by 2 points the following season. Won again in 2008, as we saw earlier in Madrid, and lost again by 2 points the following season. Last year, third place in his return to CSKA, but in that stretch between 2006 and 2009, Ettore Messina came within, let's say 2 3-point shots of winning 4 continental titles in a row, something that nobody could ever say, player or coach.
I still remember the three-pointer by Ramona Szyszkauskas that was not successful in Berlin, if you remember. That was a spectacular comeback that they almost accomplished.
Berlin in 2009, but as well in Athens in 2007 on the home court of Panathinaikos Athens. Also gave them a great game that ended in a 2-point loss. Ettore Messina has done it all at the Final Fours. He's trying to get to his 10th European final tonight. Trying to get to the championship game on Sunday, as we see a foul there by Sonny Weems. Stops the action as we come out of a timeout with 4:30 to play in the first half between CSKA Moscow and Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. Shot off by David Blue. This time he misses.
That was a
rebound falls to CSKA.
That was a very difficult shot against the defenders right out of the timeout.
CSKA goes inside to Kirstic twice. He gets it crowded by defenders. And let's see who the foul is called on. It might have been Ohayon coming in on the double team.
But look how he swarmed with defenders. David Blue come from the weak side. Yogev Ohayon from the top. I mean, they just clamped down on a post-up situation against CSKA.
Triple teams for all the big men in this first semifinal tonight. Sofo's getting the triple team. And now Nenad Kirstic, as we see Sophocles switching, he's just come back in the game. Nenad Kirstic going to the free throw line, trying to keep this lead for CSKA Moscow. It's made it to 6 points a couple times, but Maccabi has not let it get further than that. As Kirstic misses the first of his 2 free throws on the season. Kirstic is 62% free throw shooter.
A little bit of a rough start to the game for Nenad Kirstic. He bobbled the ball in the first 2 post-up situations that he had, and he missed the outside shot. Finally, he makes one of the free throws, so he's on the score sheet with 1 point from the free throw line. Now he's going to have his hands full with Sophocles Sorsanidis. I'm sure he's going to post up.
Big Sofo gets the ball right away, kicks it out to Ohayon, gets it to Blue. Jump step by Blue, he misses, and the rebound again by Victor Kliapa. He's going for 10 in the first half alone. Kliapa, ball inside to Kirstic. His pass, kick out pass, misses everything. Ohayon to the rim, blocked by Kliapa.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. Vladimir Mitsov, sorry, with the block. And the ball went off a Maccabi player and out of bounds. Here you see the missed pass by Kirstic. as he was trying to find Vorontsevich, and Mitsov.
What a heads-up play there by Vladimir Mitsov. I mean, he just came from nowhere, just recovered defensively. This is what you ask for from your players.
You don't think of Mitsov as a shot blocker. The pressure by Maccabi, ball out of bounds, but will remain CSKA possession.
This tells you that nobody is saving anything, Frank. I mean, this is 40 minutes all out. And you saw Vladimir Mitsov getting there back on defense and making a spectacular block there.
The truth is, although CSKA has been up by 5-6 points several times, as they are right now, up by 5, 32-27, as you said.
And look at the story on the boards, Frank. 19 rebounds there for CSKA Moscow and only 10 for Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Well, that's a size advantage that we know they had coming in this game compared to the speed advantage that was presumed to be for Maccabi. Priapa is going to take that shot and miss from mid-range. So breathing a sigh of relief, all these Maccabi fans in Milan. Kicked the ball by Vladimir Mitsov. It will remain Maccabi Electra possession. George Zidek with 3:22 to play here until halftime. Maccabi not only has to try to stay close, but they can't let this get away because you have an experienced team as well on CSKA Moscow, and of course an experienced coach who knows how to play with a lead as Devin Smith goes to the basket and gets hit on the way. Andrei Vorontsevich.
Let's see what Maccabi does, because CSKA just started to play a zone defense. They set it up, 3 in the back, 2 up front. Let's see how Maccabi reacts to that. I mean, there's a turnover right there. They were trying to pass the ball to Sophocles Shortstays on the inside, but it's a turnover. Another chance for CSKA to extend the lead.
A mistake there by Maccabi. Teodosic lobs the count, but there was a foul. Let's see if it's called before the dunk by Sasha Kaun. They ran the pick and roll.
Yeah, it was a foul, big Sofo, but it was before the alley-oop was completed, but a spectacular play nonetheless. And Sasha Kaun is on, Frank. 10 points in the first quarter. Now he had a chance to add almost 12 points.
Very clearly the foul was on the pass as Teodosic got smacked in the arm, and that's the 3rd foul on Sophocles Skosanidis, so that could be a factor as we go forward. Teodosic fakes, drives, tries to pass off, and he too gets fouled on the way to the basket. 2 fouls in a row, I should say, for him, as Sophocles Skosanidis takes a seat on the Maccabi bench. Joe Ingles back in the game. A very small lineup here for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. Biggest man on the floor, Joe Ingles, along with Guy Panini, and that's Alex Tyus, so he'll be the biggest man on the floor. But again, the small lineup will have to be with the reaction that Maccabi looks for as they trail with a timeout on the floor, 32-27, under 3 minutes left. And this man, Sasha Kaun, has everything to do with that. Rebounding. He's got 3 rebounds so far, but early in the game, just scoring up a storm when CSKA took charge, blocking that shot against Alex Tyus as well, and finishing with this tip in.
That was my favorite basket of Sasha Kaun in the first quarter, just not giving up. This is the motto of CSKA. They just came in, set the tone, and they are in control. This is what you get if you play aggressive basketball.
And 2 steals by your center, which Sasha Kaun has so far, is the definition of aggressive basketball. We saw the block, and he's also hit his only 2 free throws. Doesn't have a miss. 4 shots or 2 pointers in, and his only 2 free throws. So Sasha Kaun, the big star of the Game 5 victory over Panathinaikos that put CSKA in the Final Four, started this Final Four. He's a guy who really wants to win one because he's been at several, but goes back to the year after CSKA won its last EuroLeague title in 2008, and he's been to several Final Fours since then, but never has lifted the trophy, so he has a ton of motivation here as Milos Teodosic makes it 34-27. Count that as the biggest lead so far in this game. 7 points for CSKA. Tyrese Rice driving, kicks out to Ricky Hickman. Hickman can't shoot, gets it to Panini. Shot clock going down. He gets it to Joe Ingles on the back pass. No shot for him and no rebound again for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, getting really hurt on the boards in this game.
That was a good play there by Maccabi because they were just very patient with executing the offense and open shots, but for Joe Ingles just did not make it.
20-11 rebounded difference. Steal, near steal. Voroncevich comes up with it. He gets fouled from behind by Guy Panini, but you wonder how Maccabi didn't come up with that ball.
He almost had it in their hands, but Voroncevich just somehow, the ball got tipped in back to him. He recovered the ball, got strong, and goes up to the basket. Oh, look at that, right there. Hickman just had it. Then he almost tipped it to Panini, who lost it, and goes back to Voroncevich. It's 2 free throws.
And Voroncevich playing some big minutes in this game. Historically, he's the longest running member of CSKA Moscow, continually wearing the uniform. As you see there, 8th season, he was a bit part player in 2008 and won the title, but didn't get to play much. And then historically after that, he's played less in the semifinal and more in the 3rd place game, which is where CSKA has been after 2009. Almost another offensive rebound on that miss by Voroncevich, but he pops the lead up to 7 points again. And the ball in the hands of Maccabi. Tyrese Rice, as Ricky Hickman gets tied up with Vladimir Mitsov. Mitsov called for the foul with 2 minutes of play in the first half.
But as you said before, Frank, Vladimir Mitsov is not known for defense, but look the way he defends Ricky Hickman. He gets tangled up. He doesn't give in an inch of space. Good job there by CSKA.
Of course, he had the spectacular block earlier in the game as well. Hickman gets into the lane this time, tries to jump pass it to Alex Tyus, but Tyus was covered. 4 defenders in the lane there for Maccabi.
I mean, you gotta give a lot of credit there for CSKA for their defense. Yeah, really focus and prepare for Maccabi.
Teodosic gets some defense thrown at him too. Ball on the floor. It looks like it was kicked by Teodosic, so it will be a turnover for CSKA.
I think he got in a difficult position there when he jumped up and he was looking for somebody to pass it to. And he was in between 3 defending Maccabi players.
So that looks like the 6th turnover so far for CSKA Moscow. They would be doing even better because only 2 so far on the board for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. But Maccabi is down, in any case, 9 points on the scoreboard. It's crept up this lead for CSKA just when Maccabi would have wanted to cut it. Maccabi, with Aaron Jackson back in the same for CSKA, trying to do something this last minute and a half of the first half. Blue in the corner, gets a pass from Ingles, misses, and yet another rebound by CSKA Moscow. They've taken over the boards, George Zidek, to the tune of 21-12.
That's a major part. But David Blue had a perfect shooting position. He just could not connect the 3.
Teodosic trying to get the pass. Does, in fact, to free up Jackson in the corner. Voroncevich for 3 off the mark. And Panini with the rebound.
And I still think that CSKA is running their offense patiently. They are not panicking or anything.
And once again, CSKA stopping the Maccabi break with a foul. This time it was Teodosic. But you have to say, CSKA turned the ball over more, and they're only 1 for 10 from 3-point distance, but they're in control of this game.
They are, but this is a very mediocre shooting night for Maccabi with 30%, 3 for 10, as you said, and a very poor shooting from beyond the arc for CSKA Moscow, as they connected only on 1 shot out of 10.
But CSKA holds an 8-point lead, 35-27, with under a minute left now in the first half. Later on tonight, we'll have the second semifinal between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. As we see what's going on the floor right now, a little bit of a mix-up with under a minute to go until halftime. Looks like a substitution was not allowed by the officials. That was trying to be made by CSKA Moscow. And we will resume action as soon as they get that sorted out, with Tyrese Rice going to the free throw line for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. And any point will help at this point for Maccabi. They do not want to go in to the locker room with the biggest deficit they've had in the game.
I absolutely agree with you, Frank. I mean, you just want to manage the lead of CSKA as much as you can before you head to the locker room, so you have time to talk about things that you need to do better, especially the rebounding edge that CSKA's got. Maccabi really going to have to find a way to start rebound better. They're going to have to box out better, and for sure it would help if Tzanidis would stay in the game longer, because he's a big body and he creates a big quarter.
Tyrese Rice hits the first free throw. The second one is a lane violation on his own team, so he only gets 1 point back.
And that's 1 for 4 for Maccabi. Also, it's very low amount of free throws taken, but also 3 missed. This could hurt Maccabi at the end of the game.
Maccabi's just not getting to the free throw line. With a minute left, pass ahead to Fritzen. Ball given back to Kriapa. Kriapa inside the count.
I think it was a foul on the screen by Sasha Count.
Sasha Count did get held up on that screen, or held up his, there you see.
He extended his forearms, Frank.
The forearm shiver, as they call it, against Guy Panini. Taking one for the team, Guy Panini. He got smacked hard by Sasha Count, but Count caught with a foul. And that will give us a timeout on the floor now in Milan, Italy, the Mediolanum Forum, with 49.8 seconds left and a 35-28 lead for CSKA Moscow over Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv, whose head coach David Blatt trying to draw something up to get a couple points back before the break. Looking a little bit at how the season progressed for Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. They were in almost every game they played this season. They only the blowout loss in Moscow against CSKA. As you see, some of the numbers. I know David Blatt was talking about their team being, apart from the loss when they had 3 starters missing in Moscow, being the team in the EuroLeague that had the closest games the entire season, win or lose, always in games, and we expect them to be in this game as well, no matter what the score says at halftime, because nobody can forget one of the reasons they're here in the comeback in game 1 of the playoffs in this very arena, down 12 with less than 2 minutes left, and came back and beat EA7 and Emporio Armani Milan, go on to win the series, and that's why Maccabi is here. So they have the comeback potential no matter what. As Tyrese Rice takes the inbounds, races across half court, turns on Jackson, goes up with a left-handed run and hook. So Tyrese Rice, after the free throw, now up to 5 points, taking Jackson one-on-one. Kriapa out top for CSKA. Goes to Fritzen in the corner for 3. On the mark, Vitaly Fritzen. Very simple play as well, run by Fritzen and Kriapa.
That's why he's number 3 in the free throw in 3-point percentage.
Last 10 seconds, Tyrese Rice out top, and halftime on the way. Rice against Jackson. Gets a screen from Blue, 3. It's going to be Rice from deep, off the mark completely. Kriapa with the rebound, but no time for CSKA Moscow to get a shot. And that gives us a halftime score of 38-30 in favor of CSKA Moscow. So George Zidek, that's about as close as as much as they could get throughout the first half. But you have to say CSKA did what they had to do in this first half.
Interesting stats right there, almost even on the 2-point shots. Advantage for Maccabi on the 3-point shots, domination by CSKA on the rebounds.
back in Milan, Italy. The Mediolanum Forum filled with almost 12,000 sellout crowd for the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four's first semifinal. Most of the crowd here at this moment looks like they're from Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. But right now, before the second half starts, an honor being given to Ramūnas Šeškauskas by EuroLeague President and CEO Jordi Bertomeu, the naming of the great Ramūnas Šeškauskas, ex-player Panathinaikos, and CSKA Moscow, of course, among other teams, out on the floor to be honored as a EuroLeague basketball legend. Ramūnas Šeškauskas, one of 3 EuroLeague basketball legends in that new honor that has come up. The others being Teo Papaloukas, another former CSKA player, and the great Juan Carlos Navarro. George Zidek, before we go to second half action.
I was listening to Johnny Rogers interviewing the coaches, and two things that I want to mention again. What Coach David Blatt said, he'd make the shots before the CSKA defense sets up. What Coach Messina said, no transition baskets for Maccabi. Let's see who executes better.
Absolutely. I think David Blatt signaled he needs his players to get steals he was talking about, get more hands on the ball, and certainly get more rebounds and go, because he doesn't sound like he's too confident that in a setup against the against the CSKA's taller defense, playing as strong as it is tonight, this team will have the chance to make up these points. They got to move.
That's where size matters, Frank. I mean, if you allow CSKA to set up, that you have playing to your disadvantage.
CSKA on the attack to start the second half with an 8-point lead. Kriapa to Teodosic. Gets a screen. Goes to Weems. Weems inside the count. Foul by David Blue from behind. Good ball movement by CSKA.
Exactly what I wanted to say, Frank. I mean, incredible ball movement. Just go from the middle down to the corner, and immediately cutter from the top goes to the basket, and he's fouled.
You can't say enough about what Victor Kriapa has been doing all over the court, but when you have a guy like that who can pass like he does, it just creates a lot of difficulties for the other team. Sophocles Strotanidis on the floor. Teodosic going to pump from downtown. He misses, and a defensive rebound for Devin Smith. He's one of the guys who has to rebound more for Maccabi.
Of course, they need rebounds for him, and now let's see if Sophocles Strotanidis sets up on the inside. I'm sure they're looking for him.
Ricky Hickman goes baseline, and off the backboard, it rolls out, but Teodosic saves the rebound for CSKA.
Wow, what a save there by Milos Teodosic. I almost thought that he completely lost the ball.
Good hustle by him. Sonny Weems out top, pass blocked, he gets it back. Weems still with the ball, gets in the lane, his step back pass to Sasha Count fooled everybody. I thought it was going to be a jumper, and Count picking up where he left off.
What a great play and great pass by Sonny Weems. I mean, he really took all the defenders on him and made a beautiful pass there for Sasha Count.
It's Ohio to Blue in the corner for 3, so Maccabi answers with their 3-point shooter in this game.
And Coach Messina is not happy about Voron Savic leaving David Blue open in the corner. He cannot do that.
That's exactly what happened after he had 2 in the first half. Here's the play from Weems to Count. And you have to figure Blatt's thinking the same thing about Sasha Count. Head coach David Blatt of Maccabi, don't leave him alone.
But it is so difficult after the pick and roll plays. I mean, Sasha Count says good picks, and then he rolls immediately to the basket, so it's a lot difficult.
Another miscue for CSKA Moscow. They've been able to withstand their own mistakes until this point in the game, because they have now 7 turnovers to just 2 from Maccabi, but we've seen 2 passes sail completely away from any intended players. And my statistics were wrong. It's 8-8 in turnovers. David Blue gets the ball back as Sophocles Strotanidis gets tied up with Victor Kriapa. A foul will be called on Kriapa.
A great job by Kriapa. He just dances around. Sophocles Strotanidis does not give up anything. He gets tangled up with him, but nothing for free there for Sophocles Strotanidis on the inside. He's got 2 great defenders against him, Sasha Count and Victor Kriapa.
And a foul on Kriapa. Ball inbounded to Strotanidis. Ricky Hickman out top. Hickman driving on Count. Step back for him, misses. Sofo tries to tip. That misses, and the ball goes to CSKA.
And I think right there, Sasha Khan just changed the shot for Ricky Hickman. He just has to watch out if he's got a great shot blocker like Sasha Khan on the inside challenging the shots.
Weems left open for a jumper off the mark. Rebound by Ohayon.
That was second or third time that Sonny Weems was wide open there on the medium range jumper and just missed it.
Ball inside the sofa, and that foul was called, I think, again on Victor Kriapa. So 2 in a row on him.
Yeah, that's it, Frank. Vlado Mitsov is going to come in and relieve Victor Kriapa, who just picked up 2 quick fouls there in the second half.
Vladimir Mitsov did some good work on both ends of the floor, but particularly on defense in the first half. Has to come in as Victor Kriapa goes out with 3 fouls. Same as Sophie scores in this. Devin Smith from the corner off the mark, and it's Mitsov with the rebound.
Another missed three-pointer, so shooters on both sides just cannot get in their rhythm.
Ball to Mitsov. He puts it down on the transition. So Mitsov comes in and picks up where Kriapa left off.
And this is the difference, Frank. I think that CSKA is trying to get the ball inside, pound the ball, get high percentage shots. You saw that on that situation.
That's precisely why the missing three-pointers aren't hurting CSKA, but they are at Maccabi. Ohayon kicks it all the way out to Hickman. He's going to go to the basket again. He blocked again by Cowan. So it's a 9-point lead with Sonny Weems going to the rim. He gets blocked by Sophocles Skurjanidis.
Look at big fella just challenging Sonny Weems, who was coming at high speed against him. That was a potentially dangerous situation to pick up the 4th foul.
David Blue, step-back jumper off the mark, and another defensive rebound by CSKA Moscow.
I don't think David Blythe wants to see so much individual play like we saw right there in the situation with David Blue. I think he wants the ball to be moved around more.
Teodosic on the wing. Demitsov backing down in the mismatch. But it's Ricky Hickman who gets the best of that mismatch. Maccabi in transition, once again stopped by Milos Teodosic. Every time you see Maccabi have numbers and have an advantage on the floor, especially in transition, you see CSKA spend the foul.
And you see that this is the mental preparation and concentration by CSKA Moscow. The players are very focused. They don't make any mental mistakes. And one of the things that you have to approach the game is stop the fast break. Don't allow the easy points. CSKA is doing a perfect job.
We see Kyle Hines come back in the game for CSKA Moscow, as well as Nenad Kirstic, while Alex Tice is in. The ball swings to Ingles just in the game for 3. He's off the back of the rim, and the ball out of bounds on him. So the missing continues for the shooters, but it's hurting Maccabi Electra more as CSKA holds a 9-point lead now with 5:47 left in the third quarter of tonight's first semifinal at the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four.
I'll tell you what, CSKA is really shutting down the middle. There's absolutely nothing open there for the penetrations of Maccabi. That's why they have to settle for the 3-pointers that are not going in.
Teodosic probing the lane, gets it back to Hines, takes it back from Hines, tries to go to him, ball's loose on the floor, and Hines gets it and puts it in and gets fouled. Another missed opportunity by Maccabi.
And this is a similar situation that has happened in the first half. Look at that right here. Maccabi almost got the complete control of the ball, but somehow it gets to the CSKA player. This time it's Kyle Hines who takes it up strong with a little bit of luck. A lot of fouling and contact from Maccabi players, and it's a 3-point play. And of course, David Bly doesn't like it.
He wants his team to be the one on the floor taking loose balls. Instead, it's been CSKA more than once, and the saves that we saw as well, and the blocked shots. They have the hustle plays. They have the first double-digit lead of the game as Ohayon goes to basket, misses, and it's rebounded again by CSKA Moscow.
And again, Frank, he was challenged by Kirstic. It's another big body, not easy to complete the layup.
Kirstic double team, gets it out to Weems. He goes back inside. Jump hook by Kirstic misses, and David Blue comes down with the rebound.
Nenad Kirstic just cannot find his rhythm. He missed on 2 post-up situations early in the first half, and I have not seen him settle down.
29-16 rebound advantage for CSKA. Joe Ingles out top. Goes to Alex Tyus. Hands off to Ohayon. It'll be Devin Smith. 4-3 from the wing, so much needed basket by Maccabi on the three-pointer by Devin Smith.
They needed it. They absolutely needed this three right there by Devin Smith. A big play because there is nothing happening on the inside. CSKA is completely shutting down the area around the basket.
First 3 points of the game for Devin Smith, and that brings a timeout to the floor. 44-36 score as we look at some of the rough physical play that's been going on in the paint mostly between these two teams. Sofo against Andrei Vorontsevich there in the battle for position. This time it was Kriap getting called for the foul as he hit the floor bouncing off Big Sofo. One of the strongest men in world basketball, of course. There he is, also getting in the air though. I mean, you see him block somebody and you wonder how he can get up the floor so quick. And there you see finally the foul on Devin Smith on the basket by CSKA.
This is physical basketball. I mean, Frank, what else would you expect from a semifinal of a EuroLeague in the EuroLeague season? I mean, everybody comes in here with one and gives 100%. Nobody saves for anything. As Sasha Khan was talking at the end of the first half, I mean, they'll just come out and play with the same intensity. Then we don't have to fear anything. And I think the same mindset's got to be with the Maccabi players. I mean, David Bright just wants to motivate him. You saw the frustration on his face when his players were not diving.
Good
on
sign,
the floor.
Good sign for CSKA with Sasha Khan over 8 points a game when they win and only 5.7 when they lose. And of course, he had those 8 points early in this game. He's leading them with 12 right now with 4:38 to play in the third quarter. Plenty of time, but right now it is an 8-point lead as it's been for quite some time or more. The CSKA Moscow, they're on the attack after that timeout. Nitsov gets it back to Teodosic. Gets a screen from Kirstich. Top of the lane, Teodosic still dribbling, step back jumper, knocks it down. So Teodosic with a tough shot to put the lead back to double digits.
He is on, Frank. I mean, he has made 2-3 very difficult baskets, very valuable for his team after missing a lot of the season with injury.
Ball in the post. Alex Tyus on Teodosic, misses, but the tip in. I'm sorry, Devin Smith misses, and the tip in by Alex Tyus.
He needs to establish himself. He's the highest percentage shooter in the season with 76%, 73%. We haven't seen him much.
He gets on the board just as Smith did right before that. However, Tyus now gets called for a foul, trying to prevent that position in the paint.
This is a very difficult job for him to play one-on-one defense. This is the tip back right there. Tip in there by Alex Tyus, but on the other side, he's got third foul too. This is not good news there for David Bright, but he has to play defense against Nenad Krstić, who, even though he has not connected on the post-ups, he keeps posting up and he is demanding the ball on the inside, and of course his teammates are looking for him, because why would you go away from a strategy that is working? They are pounding the ball to the inside.
Aaron Jackson in the game, along with Vitaly Fridzin for CSKA Moscow. As we can see, Sophocles Shlochenitsas return. Let's see if he gets to throw his body around some more. Kyle Hines swings the ball to Fridzin, guarded by Ingles. Back to Hines, hands off to Sonny Weems. Weems turn on Devin Smith. Fridzin open in the corner, knocks it down. Another defensive mistake.
That was the second time that Vitaly Fridzin was left open in the corner. He connects. He was shooting 44 for 88, 50%. Before this game started, he was ranked third in EuroLeague in accuracy from 3 points.
And a lot of that accuracy came in the second half of the season when he built up his numbers, really came on strong. But he's shooting better at this second half of the season than he did early.
But you know what I like about him? That he comes off the bench and he accepts his role as a sharpshooter, as the ace up the sleeve of Coach Ettore Messina. He completes his 15, 18 minutes very efficiently. I like that about Vitaly Fridzin. First year for him in CSKA Moscow. He played many years there with Khimki Moscow.
We have 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the third quarter. And we'll see if the replay that the referee is looking at is determine whether the shot by Fridzin was a three-pointer or two-pointer, I imagine. Right now it's been listed as a three-pointer, giving CSKA Moscow a 49-38 lead.
3 minutes, 12 seconds. 3 minutes,
from 49 to 38, 11-point difference. The shot will stand as a three-pointer as far as we can tell. So the replay was used, and the replay has verified that Tyler Fritzen had his feet behind the three-point line, which made perfect sense since he's a specialist from there and was open. Ball off the foot of one of the CSKA players, but Tyrese Rice back in the game picks it up. Gets it to Joe Ingles driving, and the ball goes out of bounds on Joe Ingles. So that CSKA defense is just shutting down all avenues to the basket as you see the ball go off the knee of Joe Ingles.
And he was going against another big body, and then Kirsty just moves in the right place. He blocks the hole on defense, and this is a perfect strategy. It is working 100% for CSKA Moscow. They are executing their defensive strategy perfectly.
So in control, CSKA Moscow, second double-digit lead of the game. Aaron Jackson to Sonny Weems. 8 on the shot clock, gets it back from Hines, drives baseline. Weems does step-back jumper, misses everything. So good defense that time by Maccabi. They're in transition with Devin Smith. Goes straight inside to Sophocles Skoutsanidis. His long jumper misses, but Devin Smith comes flying in to tip that in. That's the only couple baskets they've had in a while at tip-in.
And they had to work for that, Frank. I mean, it was a post up by Skoutsanidis and a tip-in, but a lot of energy exerted by Maccabi players.
Sonny Weems goes around the screen, gets it to Kierstic, gets it back from Kierstic, and to Kierstic, give and go. Kierstic misses, rebounded by Kyle Hines, puts it back down. That is a defending mistake by Maccabi again.
And this is the Kyle Hines that I know from Olympiacos years. I mean, he is active, doesn't give up on anything, and just gets a valuable putback.
That is not a height advantage in that case.
No.
That's Kyle Hines out hustling. And the hustle plays, as we said, have gone largely to CSKA Moscow. So far missed another deep hook shot, deeper probably than Maccabi wants.
And he's getting pushed down farther and farther from the basket. I think he's just fatigued.
Sonny Weems again to Kierstic, the two-man game. Kierstic knocks it down. We have the biggest difference so far in the first semifinal tonight. CSKA Moscow 53-40, and their defense is doing it all. Remember Maccabi, as we see some of the shots that build up this lead in the last couple of minutes. Then had Kierstic. So with a little bit of time left here in the third quarter, 1:22 to play. As we reminded everybody early in this half, Maccabi is capable of comebacks because they did an incredible one on this floor. As you see, late with 30 seconds left, 7 down in game one of the playoffs right here in the Mediolanum Forum. There was Tyrese Rice tying that game up right before Keith Langford had a chance to win it for EA7 player man in the line, missed and went to overtime. The great dunk by Alex Tyus. And of course, Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv going on to win that game 99-101 and going on to win the series. But a reminder that on this floor, they've made up bigger differences with much shorter time than they have right now here late in the third quarter against CSKA Moscow, 53-40 with 1:22 to play. What do you think David Glad can get out of his guys in terms of a change of momentum?
Well, I think that he just has to ask them to go all out. They have to attack the interior defense of CSKA. But CSKA, to me, Frank, you have to give him a lot of credit. I mean, they execute offensive and defensive plans perfectly all game.
Tyrese Rice running the Maccabi offense. Goes to Devin Smith for a jumper. That's off the mark. Rebound by Fritzen. Everybody rebounds for CSKA.
Frank, 1 for 4. Only 4 free throws taken by Maccabi. So David Bad has to be. And there's another 2 points there by Sonny Weems. It's a 15-point lead by Maccabi. So Frank, just to finish answering your question, he has to ask the players of Maccabi to draw contact and be more aggressive. Just find a way to draw fouls. Put the CSKA's defense on their heels. 15-point
lead by CSKA. Tyrese Rice makes his move, gets fouled while he does so by Aaron Jackson. CSKA Moscow has used its fouls very well, in addition to playing stand-up defense. When they get beaten or when there's a transition by Maccabi, they use the fouls to stop play. They'll take the bonus free throws, but they haven't had to give many up. This will be the first ones here in the second half.
Frank, to me, we have to speak at least a little bit about the Final Four experience. I didn't think it was going to play a big part, but on the part of Maccabi, only David Blue, Shortsanidis, Joe Ingles, and Guy Pliny have previous Final Four experience. On the side of CSKA, it's almost everybody has got a Final Four experience. I think this is showing. They are executing the plan.
Good point, George Zidek, that we didn't make earlier. Guys like Tyrese Rice and Ricky Hickman have done it at other stages of the season, but going to the Final Four demands the most concentration and the most focus. And a lot of players say until you get here, you don't can't fully understand it.
Yep. One game scenario.
Rice makes one of his 2 free throws. It's still a 14-point lead. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Kirstich gets it back out to Weems. He's going one-on-one against Panini. Gets it inside to Kirstich. Ball goes out of bounds, and look at it be Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv possession now with 18.3 seconds to play. So good defense by Maccabi, but they're going to have to start scoring as well.
That was a
last possession of the third quarter. Sorry, George. It's Hickman. Step back 3, Ricky Hickman on the mark. Nice timing. Still some seconds left here in the third quarter. Almost a steal by Rice as time runs out, but Maccabi Electra at least gets a little boost here to finish the third quarter as Ricky Hickman took it upon himself and make his move, step back here and hit a 3-pointer over Vitaly Fritzen that does the job of lowering the difference, which was just 15 points to just 10 at the end of the fourth quarter at 55-45, still in favor of CSKA Moscow as we see some of the statistics. The 30 will come back for fourth quarter action.
Turkish Airlines, Spalding, Intersport, official global sponsors of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
Coming back for fourth quarter action in the semifinal, and as we said, 200 countries around the world, they can see us on this game on TV, more than 200. And of course, the social media is going just as strong as we watch the teams come out of the break between the third and fourth quarters. The CSKA holding a 10-point lead over Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. David Blatt still talking to his players about how to take that little boost by Ricky Hickman's 3-pointer to end the third quarter and bring it back here. And we saw a shot, I believe, of one of the players from Real Madrid coming into Mediolanum Forum for our second game tonight. Just a little while, there's Nikola Mirotic taking pictures outside with the fans. There's still a quarter left here in the first semifinal. As everybody getting ready to see if Maccabi will mount a comeback or CSKA Moscow will maintain its dominance in this game, George Zidek. I mean, have to call it dominance because, as you said, both ends of the floor, tactics, and executing those tactics, I'd say.
I mean, everything goes up for grabs. 10 minutes, Frank. I think the opening moments of the fourth quarter is going to be very important to see if Maccabi can carry over some of the momentum from that last 3-pointer that they made and cut it down to 10 points difference.
They had the chance with the first possession, Guy Panini out top, but they're having trouble even getting into their offense. 10 seconds left. Tyrese Rice calling off everybody and asking to drive. He goes off the backboard over Teodosic and in. Fall back, change hand shot. So 5 points in a row to end the third quarter and start the fourth is as good as Maccabi's had it for a while.
Absolutely, and Tyrese Rice was instrumental in the series against Milano. Let's see what he does tonight.
Victor Kriepa and Sasha Town back in the game. They've been the stars for CSKA until now. But a foul called off the ball or on the pass as we see the replay of Tyrese Rice off 1 foot, switching hands and falling back in midair. If they can make, that's the kind of shot he made, and he made to come back on this floor less than a month ago in the playoffs.
Maccabi is really coming alive. So are the fans.
Teodosic inside the count. He doesn't miss again. Sasha Count right back in to stop the Maccabi momentum with a shot. And of course, Sasha Count now perfect from the floor, 5 for 5 in this game, making 6 for 6 and 12 points. Tyrese Rice gets in close again, but that one was not going down. I think that's what David Bly was talking about at halftime. Shots like that where they're in close and haven't been able to hit is not what is helping them right now.
Well, I mean, David Bly just said we have to take our chances. We just cannot wait for CSKA to set up. And it's difficult for us to play against big bodies like they have, and also against the experience. So we have to gamble a little bit. We have to take the initiative.
Tyrese Rice, a step late on defense there, commits a foul on Teodosic. Again, that's what head coach in Maccabi, David Bly, was talking about. We're not getting there on time on defense. Voron Sevic to Kriapa. Back to Voron Sevic, drives baseline on blue. Tries to kick it to the corner, but this time Tyrese Rice comes up with a steal. And he gets fouled from behind by Vitaly Fritzson on the break, but once again, CSKA spending his fouls to slow down Maccabi.
But frankly, I mean, it's Tyrese Rice everywhere. I mean, he just leads the fast break, connects on the spectacular plays, now makes a steal. I mean, he just really is giving a lot of boost to Maccabi, but of course they need it. It's 8.5 minutes to go, and it's a 10-point difference, so anybody who's got anything left, they better bring it on right now.
Can't say any other way, especially in the case of Maccabi, but I think it's going to take a lot more than we've seen so far. Ricky Hickman drop back three-pointer off the rim and out of bounds, so a team rebound this time for CSKA Moscow. But every time we've seen something like that, a ball loose on rebounds and stuff, it seems like CSKA's come up with it.
I have to agree, Frank. I mean, they've been winning the battle with the hustle.
Teodosic outside, shadowed by Hickman, and there's a foul call there as well. This guy Panini is trying to prevent the pass to Victor Kriapa. So Kriapa with 3 fouls himself, draws one that time. Teodosic, no look pass to Kriapa in the corner. Step back jumper for him. Off the mark, Tyrese Rice with the rebound. Good
defense there by Guy Panini. He recovered and challenged the shot of Victor Kriapa.
Kriapa on the break, once again stopped by a foul, this time by Fritzson. Fritzson up to his third foul.
Smart defense there by Fritzson. He knew he was beat, but he committed a foul before Tyrese Rice couldn't get in the act of shooting. So, as we said before many times, CSKA is spending their fouls very wisely.
CSKA's double-digit lead has been holding. They had up to 15 late in the third quarter, but they have bent without breaking so far. And still 7.5 minutes left to go here in the first semifinal. Tyrese Rice inside to Alex Tyus, and a nice move among defenders. That was one that got down from Maccabi.
That's why we call him one of the best finishers. Usually when he gets the ball close to the basket, he finds a way to finish.
Voron Sevic on the wing for CSKA to Teodosic. Inside to Kriapa. Passes to Teodosic. He's open. His shot off the back of the rim. Another rebound chased down by Tyrese Rice. I think that's 3.
I was going to ask you, guess who was going to get that long rebound? Tyrese Rice again.
Driving to the hole. Can't finish. Tyus is there to slam the rebound. So now a couple of hustle plays going in the way of Maccabi. We didn't see it until now, Joe.
Yeah, but Frank, they are attacking. They are being the aggressors, so they create these things to happen.
Teodosic out top. Difference down to 6. Kriapa in the corner for 3. Knocks it down. Victor Kriapa with a big shot and well defended.
That was a huge shot there by Victor Kriapa. He really held his team.
Maccabi was coming on strong, having cut the lead to 6. But Kriapa answered, and it's back up to 9 as we see a foul on Tyrese Rice driving, draws the foul on Teodosic.
That was the 6th time that Tyrese Rice got fouled. This is also very important statistics.
Not a shooting foul yet for Maccabi. Both teams are not in the bonus as of yet. Tyrese Rice directing the offense. Turns on Weems, loses the handle, but gives it back to Hickman. 2 on the shot clock. Hickman, does he get it off? No, but gets it off in time. But Kriapa yanks the rebound like he's been doing all night.
Another big play there by Victor Kriapa after the huge 3 that he had just the possession before.
Teodosic out top, inside the count. Count to Aaron Jackson. Jackson off the rim with a 3-pointer, pulled in by David Blue. The rebound, it'll be Maccabi. Tyrese Rice, the Blue, he's gonna take a 3-pointer and hit it. So David Blue and Tyrese Rice with some big shots to get back down to 6. 4 for 7 from downtown, David Blue.
All his points came from 3-pointers. David Blue, the specialist.
Weems gets it back. Across to Kriapa. Inside to Count. Can't get that shot to fall. And here comes Maccabi trying to get as close as they've been since the first half. It's going to be Panini trying from deep. He misses his 3-pointer, however. Another of their 3-point shooters, if that had gone down, he would have brought down the house because there's a lot of Maccabi fans here waiting for just that kind of shot from him. Panini 0 for 2 from downtown tonight. Teodosic, he'll take a short jumper and knock it down. So found his spot and hit it. Milos Teodosic.
And I tell you what, Frank, everything is happening through hands of Tyrese Rice as we see right now. He's really keeping the ball in his hands and he's making the things happen for Maccabi.
Tyrese Rice drives, takes the shot over Count, misses that, and every rebound seems to be going in the hands once again of Victor Kriapa, who now has double digits in rebounds with 10. Teodosic almost gets his pocket picked by Hickman, still has the ball. Goes to Count, 4 on the shot clock. Count in the corner to Weems. Off the mark, misses everything. And Maccabi comes the other way.
There's nobody to fill the fast break, so Ricky Hickman's gonna stop.
And hit the jumper. He just waited for one screen and that was good enough. So for Ricky Hickman, gets the difference down to 5. You can't say that CSKA was caught sleeping because all their defenders were back.
Absolutely, Frank. It was 1 against 3. And then there was a pick, and he immediately takes the shot. What an impressive game, Frank. I mean, never say die, baby.
But the transition screen was enough for Ricky Hickman to hit his 3-pointer as we go to a timeout with less than 4 minutes to play. But at this point, Maccabi closer than it has been for a long time. Here we see some of the rebounding dominance that CSKA Moscow has had for most of this game, with Victor Kriapa being the leader in that category with 10 rebounds. There's still a 10-rebound double-digit difference on the boards, and everybody was contributing along with him. Look at Kriapa, despite his foul trouble and sitting out some of the third quarter, gets up to 10 rebounds in that dominant part of this first semifinal so far for CSKA.
And I think that you also have to speak about offensive rebounding of Maccabi. They are ranked only 23rd in EuroLeague in offensive rebounding. So for CSKA to shut down the middle and collect all the rebounds, it's made a little bit easier there by certain inactivity of Maccabi and inability to go for the offensive rebounds.
Second leading rebounder on CSKA is Milos Teodosic with 6. But we've seen Tyrese Rice, as we see a replay of the 3-pointer by Ricky Hickman. We see Tyrese Rice helping that category as well from his guard spot in the last few minutes for Maccabi. And you can't say every loose ball, every loose rebound matters now, especially for Maccabi as they try to make up this difference. But what a comeback. They've come back from 15 down late in the third quarter to just 5 down now. It's CSKA ball, 62-57 lead, under 4 minutes left to play to get to the championship game on Sunday. They move it around the perimeter to Weems. Shot clock down to 7. The pass from Williams to Kirstich doesn't connect. Third pass that we did from by CSKA today that we've seen not touch the intended receiver. And a turnover at the wrong time, you'd have to say, for CSKA Moscow, 62-57.
It seemed to me
12
that like,
turnovers for CSKA.
it seemed to me that almost nobody wanted to shoot the ball.
And that led to the turnover. Rice now again directing the attack. Gets in the lane, goes to Tyus, misses barely, and the rebound controlled by Nenad Kirstich. So nice rebound by Kirstich as Alex Tyus gets called for the foul, his 4th. He was right there, but you talk about him leading the league in 2-point shooting percentage this year. There was games upon games where he dunked almost anything near the rim. He's also hit some shots around the rim, but CSKA's doing a good job of not even giving him dunking opportunities.
True, Frank, but I think that he was also behind the basket. If you saw it, he was behind it. Oh, right there. I mean, it's a limping Aaron Jackson. I think that he's out of the game. Maybe it's the foot injury that he must have aggravated on the last play.
That he has been nursing not an injury that occurred per se as much as something that's been bothering him for a long time. That looks worse than before, but he went out of a game, a domestic game last week, got pulled out in a similar situation. So Aaron Jackson off the floor. CSKA trying to finish what they started here as Teodosic goes to the rim, misses his jumper, ball's loose, and Kirstich comes up with a big rebound. Vitaly Fritzen controls the ball, brings it out to Sonny Weems, guarded by Devin Smith. Weems almost loses it. Kirstich comes up with it. Back to Weems. It'll be Fritzen open for 3, misses it, and a rebound yanked by Alex Tyus. It's still a 5-point game, a tense minute and a half with no scoring. David Blue picks up a rough pass. Trying to find somebody to pass to, gets it back to Tyrese Rice, 11 on the shot clock. Crosses over against Teodosic to the rim and puts it down. Tyrese Rice has Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv within 3, 62-59 on the same floor where they came back from 12 down in 2 minutes and 1 in the playoffs.
Tyrese Rice is feeling it, Frank. And I mean, he is taking the responsibility. He is taking players one-on-one. He's making the passes. He is rebounding. He's doing it all. It's 13 points for Tyrese Rice. 4 rebounds to go along with that. And a very impressive game by Tyrese Rice.
Well, you say, the coaches and the players always say the details matter most in the Final Four, but an unfortunate detail for CSKA Moscow because Aaron Jackson is the man they have to guard people like Tyrese Rice. And no sooner did he go off the floor than Tyrese Rice called for the ball and went against the slower Milos Teodosic to get the kind of baskets that they were not getting for most part of this game.
And this is maybe why now Ettore Messina is putting 3 big men on the floor. He's trying to enforce the dominant defense on the interior to make it more difficult for Tyrese Rice and others to drive to the basket. So that's why we have Victor Gerpa, Kyle Hines, and Kirstich on the floor.
2:13 to play in the 4th quarter. 3-point ball game. CSKA 62-59. They have the ball. Kriapa, Weems, Teodosic, Hines, and Kirstich on the floor for CSKA. It's Smith, Tyus, Blue, Tyrese Rice, and Ricky Hickman from Maccabi. They get the ball into Kirstich. His shot goes up and in over Alex Tyus. So good look and good hustle by Kirstich to hold on to that ball and score.
And that was a very difficult shot at him. He was also behind the basket. He was kind of leaning out but connected.
64-59. David Blue from deep, off the mark. Rebound ripped by Sonny Weems. So 1:43 to play. CSKA clinging to a 5-point lead over Maccabi with the ball. Kriapa going back door to Weems, blocked by Tyus. But Weems gets the ball back. It swings all the way to Teodosic for 3. That's off the mark. Rebound, still loose, and come up with
Tyrese Rice.
By Tyrese Rice once again. Didn't recognize him without his headband on. He gets fouled in transition, as we've seen CSKA's defense do all game. But look at Alex Tyus. This is the Alex Tyus we saw in the end of the top 16 in the playoffs. Huge block
Look how high he was, Frank. I mean, and the quickness off the floor, unbelievable.
So a timeout on the floor with 1:18 left in the fourth quarter of the first semifinal. Still 5-point difference for CSKA Moscow, 64-59. But we'll come back. We'll come back with Maccabi having a chance to repeat what they did in the playoffs on this floor, game one of playoffs, coming back in the last 2 minutes with a bigger deficit than this. As we saw, it was 7 with 30 seconds left when they played EA7 and Puri Armani Milan on this floor. Took it to overtime and won in overtime. But if you went back to 2 minutes, it was 12, and they just erased.
Anything is possible, but I think there's just a lot more experience there against them this time than it was with Milan.
So we will see what these two teams have come up with in the timeout with 1:18 to play. But Maccabi certainly has momentum after shaving 10 points off the difference in this game since about the same time late in the third quarter 10 minutes ago. Hickman gets it in to Tyrese Rice. He has his headband on again. That's a good sign for him. Rice, guarded by Williams, gets in the paint, goes up, misses. It's Tyus with the rebound, puts it down, back to a three-point ball game, 1:06 to play. The inbound pass almost stolen. I don't know how Kriapik came up with it because he was looking up court. CSKA trying to run some time off, gets it to Sonny Weems finally. 12 on the shot clock with 52 seconds left. Weems crosses over on Rice. Rice fouls Weems from behind.
That's number 3 for Tyrese Rice, which of course is not a problem with 48 seconds to go in the game. But the problem is they're in the bonus, CSKA is in the bonus, so Sonny Weems, who's a good free throw shooter, is going to have a chance to go for 2 free throws. Not a bad man to have on the free throw line.
Sonny Weems, 48.9 seconds left. Weems has been almost a 77% free throw shooter this season, but the first one he cannot hit. Giving Maccabi a little more leeway. 3 down with 49 seconds left. Weems going for the second one. The rebound will be key. Makes it 65-61 CSKA. They have been leading since early in the second quarter in this ball game and have not given up that lead the entire time. They have 50 seconds left to make it to the championship game on Sunday. Smith backing down Teodosic off the backboard and in. Devin Smith.
Good recognition there by Maccabi.
Takes it to a 2-point ball game with 42 seconds left. 65-63. Weems gets doubled. Hickman almost gets it, but gets it to Teodosic across half court. He goes back to Weems. 30 seconds left now. 12 on the shot clock for CSKA. And Weems is going to dribble it out. 6 on the shot clock. Steps back on Devin Smith and knocks it down. Sonny Weems been doing it all season. Gives CSKA a 67-63 lead with 20 seconds left.
This is crunch time for Sonny Weems, and this is his favorite spot, Frank. Take the dribble around the free throw line, take a step back and make a shot. I have seen him do this move so many times in the season. And a 4-point game for CSKA Moscow, very comfortably.
Nobody can stay with him on that move. He crosses over so well, he fakes inside. And Devin Smith, who is a very good defender, couldn't get near that shot. Sonny Weems, and we've seen not only has he done it all season, he's done it in crunch time all season. And that might be the biggest one of all for Sonny Weems in his 2-year career with CSKA Moscow. He's been the crunch time player all along, but doing it in the semifinals is a whole nother matter.
Well, I think, Frank, I mean, if things break down for CSKA offensively, the second part of the season, they have always gone to Sonny Weems, just spread the players out and let him do his thing. He can create one-on-one with the best of them.
Just 6 points for Sonny Weems so far in this semifinal.
Look at that, Frank. 2 for 8 so far from 2 and 0 for 4 from the 3. So 2 for 12 overall from the field, but this was a huge basket. I mean, he's got some
Well, that's a sign of a true scorer. Even when they're not scoring, they come up with the big baskets. And Sonny Weems just did that, but there's plenty of time left. 19 seconds, 19.2 to be exact. And CSKA Moscow, as we say, clinging, holding on to that lead that was as big as 15. It's 4 right now as Maccabi comes out of the timeout, trying to make something happen with just 20 seconds left. Let's see what inbounds play they came up with. It'll be Devin Smith inbounding the ball. Hard to get it in, gets in. Alex Tyus swings it to Tyrese Rice. To David Blue for 3. On the mark, David Blue makes it a 1-point ball game with 13.5 seconds left.
That was a 5th three-pointer by David Blue, and I cannot believe that. 15 points for him and 5th three-pointer. Look at the play one more time. Perfect setup, nice screen by Tyrese Rice, and an open 3, a long one, but an open 3 on the way.
Perfect execution as David Blue came off the screen and the handoff and knocked down his 5th three-pointer. And you know that CSKA Moscow was looking for him too. It's just great execution by Maccabi.
Again, Tyrese Rice, Frank, he brought up the ball. He made a handoff, screen grabber. What an incredible second half by Tyrese Rice.
Without that screen by Rice, you know Kriapa would have been close to that shot. He's one of the greatest defenders of this century in the EuroLeague, former best defender trophy winner. And here you see Rice fakes, gets in the way of Kriapa, and that was enough for David Blue to knock down his 5th three-pointer and make it a 1-point ball game. 13.5 seconds left. Another thriller to get the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Final Four 2014 in Milan, Italy, off to a roaring start. In 13 seconds, we will see which of these teams decided, but you have to say they both deserve right now to have a shot at the final, because if CSKA did it all game, it's been Maccabi in these last 6 or 7 minutes that has held up to its tradition by making this a 1-point game. 13.5 seconds left. Inbounds by CSKA. It'll be Kriapa to Mitov in the game for them. Back with Kriapa, he loses the ball. David Blue steals it. Tyrese Rice to the rim, puts it down. Maccabi's ahead, 67-68. 5.5 seconds left. Teodosic to Weems to win it off the mark. And Maccabi, Electra Tel Aviv takes the semifinal in the last seconds from CSKA Moscow. 67-68.
This is
an incredible 15-point comeback with 12 minutes left in the ball game to steal it in the final go. It was Tyrese Rice to finish it up. He did it all during the 4th quarter. He did it on the last shot with 6 seconds left. An incredible turnaround in the semifinal. Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv going to the championship game on Sunday. I don't believe it, George.
I am absolutely speechless, Frank. Only in basketball can you see something like that. And Maccabi Tel Aviv just hung around and they found a way. I cannot imagine even how. I will have to see the replay of the last 5 minutes, but hats off to Maccabi Tel Aviv, Frank.
How many times has the Turkish Airlines Final Four given you these kind of thrills? Rice from Blue, defended well, finishes with 6 seconds left. It was in the hands of CSKA. They led by 4 with 20 seconds left. Instead, it's Maccabi going to championship game on Sunday against the winner of tonight's second semifinal. What a comeback. We said they honored their tradition even before that last 20 seconds, but you have to say that Maccabi earned it. They stayed close, they came back, and they finished it off in style on that shot by Tyrese Rice. Unbelievable.
Turkish Airlines, 7 days, and Winline, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.